I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I recently did a set of Basquiat nails that I really loved on myself. So, sitting in isolation, quarantine, and wanted to do something similar. So, as you can see, all the brush strokes are really like not purposeful. They're quite rushed, quite loose. I have sped this video up. I don't paint this fast in normal life. I am not that much of a wizard. So yeah, really wanted to get the feel of expression and that hurried feel. He has a lot of emotion in his work. So here I am actually just painting a little face, doing quite a few little sort of squiggly lines on the side, really just to give the set and the art texture and feel. So now I'm painting some more thick squiggled black lines on the side. Notice that they're quite hurried. I'm not oversaturating my brush with product. I usually, when I want to do thinner lines, I tend to pull the paint out and clean the brush of it a little bit, as you can see I'm doing with this white here. So you can see my brush is not overburdened with product, but quite thin to help me get that really thin line that I'm painting right there. So now we're doing the outline of the character's head. Really trying to get as thin as possible. So you can see I'm painting as much as possible using my brush at a 90-degree angle, just so that I'm using really the finest tip of the point. But you can cut your brushes thinner if you want to get heightened detail. It really just depends on what you prefer. And yeah, you're recording a tutorial. This is my first one, so apologies for the angles and the weird things going on, but this is what we're doing in isolation. Can't go out and buy equipment, so we make do with what we have. Cool, you can see there I'm just adding a little bit more detail, super light brush strokes, really just getting some expression and feel in there. I wanted to add some thicker blocked out areas just to really create a little bit more depth and a little bit more interesting points on the nail. And that's something that I love with nail art and gel. It's a super forgiving product. You can erase stuff, well, before you've cured it, you can wipe things off and really make it your own. So you see here, I came to give y'all a cuter little angle. I'm writing the word king in tiny letters and my hands were shaking a little. But yeah, you can see there it says king. I'm not really painting a specific work of Basquiat. I tried to take a few elements of his stuff because I really wanted to use his work more as an inspiration and an influence rather than copying a specific piece. But definitely, the crowns, the faces, the blurry sort of hurried lines, really reminiscent of that style of work. Here I'm just taking a little bit more of a pastel yellow, lifting some colors up throughout the rest of the nail. I colored in that little crown there. Oh, look, back with the white. Now we're also writing another letter. You can see that once again, really almost like a dry brush, but not too dry because you don't want the product to not show up. Oops, there you see a little bit too much product and my hand shook on that L. So I'm going to go back over those O's to really try and thicken it up. And you can see I wrote the word fool. And now I'm using more of a dry brush technique just to really sort of give the feel of a worked in piece of art. Alright, now we've gone back with some black and I'm going to outline the crown. My favorite thing to do is doing outlines. I think it really brings depth and texture to the work, but it is so hard to do when your hands are shaking, like mine is shaking right there. But it's fun, and you know what, it's practice, and you shouldn't be afraid to practice, and you shouldn't be afraid to try new things. So, yeah, challenge yourself if you can. If you have someone at home, if you have any of your nail stuff at home, paint your toenails even. Go for it. Oh yeah, here I'm doing Basquiat, tends to make it look like, everything is a thought and a process. So I crossed up the word fool because this is all about the king. And adding some more red back in there. Trying to draw one of those sort of dollar signs that we used to do as kids in the 90s. I thought I was so cool when I did this when I was a child. And now I love that we're bringing it back, putting it on nails. But Basquiat also has these symbols in his work, so I really can't claim any originality for that. Throwing some more red into the corners there. And here we're just painting a little top coat over it, really to seal everything in, give it that nice shine. And voila! Here we have Basquiat. Enjoy!